brought to you by Bethel School of Technology. Learn more at betheltech.net/Ken Coleman. Over our time here on the show, we have attempted to show you real news, real situations in the world of work, and then apply that to you. So this is for the employee, and this is also for leaders. This is going to have broad application. A leaked memo is getting news. This is an Inc.com article. A leaked memo from the Google CEO is getting a lot of attention. And I always wonder when I see these things, was it leaked? Like, was it stolen? Was it leaked in the sense of a disgruntled executive or somebody who got this, put this out, or was this leaked intentionally? You never know. And I just threw that out there for you, conspiracy theorists, to enjoy the conversation. You can comment on this. So in this memo, this was the roadmap for 2024. In other words, this is where we as Google, this is the memo, this is what our key goals are for 2024. And so I'm not going to list all these because it's really not relevant. But number 6 of the 7, this is what it said. Build a Google that's extraordinary for Googlers and the world. Now, Googlers are people that work at Google. And, of course, the world, the rest of us who use or could use Google. So there was a bit of disconnect to the point that a viral LinkedIn post from a not-so-happy Googler got a lot of clicks and a lot of comments. And it aligns with the reality that Google has gone through a pretty steady wave recently of ongoing layoffs. And anytime a company, I don't care how big, how famous, how wealthy, goes through a wave of layoffs. So think about the wave. So we got this one coming in, and then a couple months later, this is coming in, and it's affecting multiple departments. Listen, layoffs are a part of business. I never demonize a leader who has to make tough choices like layoffs. I mean, at times that's good business as a result of maybe things that they could not control, or realizing that there were some decisions that were made and they weren't good decisions, and you got to deal with the pain of it. We don't just take our ball and go home. We don't just shut the business down because we don't want to lay people off. I mean, layoffs are a part of it, but there's a way to do layoffs the right way. And even if you do layoffs the right way, understand that the psychology for people who work at a company, and again, no matter how big or how famous or how powerful, those who are left behind, while grateful that they didn't get laid off, you cannot as a human avoid the psychology of, am I next? What's going to happen to me? Okay. And so there's been a lot of layoffs. And so this post, I'm not going to read the entire post, but this was by a lady by the name of Diane. And she's pretty hot. She's pretty hot. And she leads with, this is my hot take. Google does not have one single visionary leader, not a one. From the C-suite to SVPs to the VPs, they're all profoundly boring and glassy-eyed. So, wow, hello, comes right out of the gate. She's not messing around. Now, is this true? Who knows? So I'm not going to give any credibility to what she says. However, even in something like this that may be incorrect or a little bit blown up, there's always a kernel of truth. And this is what I want to focus on what she said. She said, there's a pervasive sense of cynicism. Well, I guess I'll just do my job until they fire me. A lot of people have golden handcuff situations. They make so much money, they're not going to walk away from the salary, but nobody works late anymore. The buildings are half empty in the afternoon. A lot of people, myself included, who used to happily do extra work, evenings and weekends to get the job done, we don't anymore. That's gone. Executives are cashing out their human capital at the very moment it seems to me like they really need it. Now, let's take all of this with a grain of salt, okay? Or maybe a shaker of salt. Is she correct? I don't know. I don't want to focus on that because, again, you can have some really unhappy people who fire something away. And the LinkedIn post, obviously it went viral, a lot of comments. Some people said, well, hey, and I can give you kind of two buckets. Yes, I agree. This is happening with a lot of companies, and that whole, we're screwed and, we can't get ahead. The worker can't get ahead, which I disagree with. And then there were multiple sentiments that basically said, okay, Well, if it's so clear that things are not good and not going to get better, and you know this, then why not leave? And again, Diane says in the post, it's a golden handcuff situation, which is, of course, an old way of describing kind of a colloquialism of, well, it's so good, I'm getting paid well, maybe I can't get that anywhere else, it's going to be harder to get paid anywhere else, so I'm handcuffed to this job. So that's the situation. Now, here's what I want to share on this. And this is for those of you who feel like you're in a situation like this, a not so great company culture, you're not happy, and you've got a little bit of fear. Okay, what would it look like for me to leave? Am I handcuffed to this? I mean, this is important. And this is for those of you who are leaders who maybe can make some change, if only in your division, or you can't make change, or you have the ability to really make the change. So here we go. First, number one, a vision that is not shared is not a vision. A vision that is not shared is not a vision. I mean, this is leadership 101 stuff. In other words, the big beef by this post was, oh, this is a bunch of garbage and they don't have any vision. Well, I don't know, because this memo outlines some clear goals. Are those goals attached to a vision? I gotta believe they are, but herein lies the breakdown. A vision that is not shared is not a vision. So if the executives have got this vision and they haven't shared it with everybody else, then it's not a vision. It's a secret. That's the first thing. A lack of vision casting then creates a vacuum of negative imagination. In other words, if you aren't communicating to the company and to everybody what the vision is, and I'm going to explain how that should sound with a very simple breakdown in a moment, here's what happens. It creates a vacuum in everybody's minds, and then gossip, and everybody kind of gets together and they go, well, we don't know what the vision is. And so people begin to say, well, here's what I think the vision could be or should be. And we start talking about that. And the idea is when people don't know where they stand, then it creates a lot of negative imagination. So here's a real simple thing in 30 seconds. Here's how we share vision, how we should share vision, leaders. Number one, tell everybody where we're going. This is where we're going. Very specific. This is where we're going as a company. Two, why we are going there. This is the destination, and this is why we believe we should be there. And then third, this is how we're going to get there. It's that simple. So if you want to craft a vision, leaders, I just want to give you a 101. And by the way, you can do this with a team of 5 people. Here's what you have to answer for people. You got to tell them where they're going, where we are going, why we are going there, and how we'll get there. And that'll create unbelievable communication and eventually trust and a great plan. It's that simple. Even the big companies aren't doing this. Launch your tech career today at betheltech.net/Ken Coleman.